Hey, welcome to the warm up. We're back again at you. We're knee deep in some spring championship seasons as we usually are this week. Jeff just got back from Georgetown again, shooting some more girls golf state this time. Girls state golf, I should say it the correct way. But what we really want to talk about, Jeff, is baseball and softball. Softball is in the regional semifinals. Baseball is in the area round. I already had some upsets. You know, last week's champion Kingwood's out.
Yeah,
what kind of stuff did you see from last week that kind of shocked you? Mainly the Kingwood deal, right?
Yeah, Kingwood losing was a bit of a shocker. I mean, you texted me and I was like kind of surprised to see that. No doubt about it. But I mean, let's start over in 6A D1. We got a good matchup in Region 2 with the Woodlands playing Klein. You might remember that pitcher, Ben Wilhouse. He had a complete game against Bridgeland. That was a good winner. Of course, the winner of this Woodlands Klein Oak matchup is going to take on the winner of Soxie and Waxahachie. Grand Oaks is doing all right also in baseball. They're going to take on Klein Collins. The winner gets Rockwall or Waco Midway. Over in Region 3, a lot of powerhouses out of the Houston area. We got Cy-Fair taking on Katy. Katy looking really good this year in baseball. They'll get the winner of Ridge Point versus Atascocita. I think Atascocita might be the best team right now in the greater Houston area, them and Tomball, of course. So keep an eye out for those three, Katy, Tomball, and Atascocita. Lamar Straight Jesuit is a good-looking matchup. I like that one as well. And they'll get the winner of Pearland versus Summer Creek. And Pearland's been quietly taking care of business in both baseball and softball, for that matter. Over in 6A Division 2, Region 2, Oak Ridge has got Tomball. That's going to be a tough battle for Oak Ridge. But, hey, you know what? They've gotten this far. Why not? And the winner of that will take on the winner of Rowlett, Mesquite Horn. Then we got Willis, who got out of that first round. They're going to take on Magnolia West, who beat a tough Cy Woods team 4-3. Did you see the way that game ended? That was a great game.
Walk-off grand slam, right?
Woo! Yeah. But you know what? Magnolia West is one of those teams that they've been getting good pitching all year long. They're going to take on the winner of Tyler Legacy and Harker Heights. So Magnolia West plays Willis. Winner gets that Legacy Harker Heights matchup. Down also in Region 3, we got Memorial taking on George Ranch. Memorial's got great pitching. As long as you can pitch, you can advance. They'll take on the winner of Alvin versus Clear Lake. We also have a nice matchup between Stratford and Katy Tompkins, and they'll get the winner of Fort Bend Clements and Goose Creek Memorial. So some really interesting baseball matchups. Any thoughts about any of those that jump off the page for you, Ward?
Well, I'm interested to see Tomball, as usual. They get their game started early. They're starting their series. They started their series yesterday. They know what it takes to get to that final game there. And as you said, the Woodlands, the pitching there, because we didn't talk about Smeagol, who's a Texas guy, a University of Texas commit. That's going to be fun to watch them. And then, of course, the Atascocita, with Kingwood out, they're going to be holding the flag for 23-6A and trying to get back up there with Ty Higginbotham and them.
Yeah, and, of course, Atascocita made it to the state championship game last year. They've been knocking on the door, haven't been able to win it all, but, man, they've been one of the most successful programs as far as high school baseball in the greater Houston area for a good 20-plus years.
Yeah. What about on the softball side? Because I've been picking to find out where this Katy Kingwood series is going to be. I found out it's going to be in Cy-Fair. I'm excited about this one. You can't be more excited about a series like this.
Yeah, well, we can start off in Region 3 over there. Kingwood, defending champs, facing Katy Tigers. They're definitely hot. E.K. Smith, she's been pitching great. She's got the prowess at the plate. She can hit home runs. She had a homer against Memorial, I believe. And Kingwood, they beat Alvin. These two teams are definitely playing great. And the winners get the winner of that Jordan-Clear Creek matchup. Jordan beat Stratford. Clear Creek beat Dawson. In fact, I believe it was Emma Hope who had an RBI sac fly for Clear Creek to win that one for Clear Creek, who's quietly moving on. But they're going to have a tough battle against Jordan. But I do want to dip back over. We got another Region 3 matchup in 6A D2. That's Willis and Tomball. That'll be interesting. Tomball's been quietly playing great softball. They kind of play in that shadow of the baseball team, but they're making a name for themselves. And they'll get the winner of Oak Ridge Forney, because Oak Ridge just beat Magnolia, which was a little bit of a shock as well. And I want to dip back over to 6A D1. We got Bridgeland playing Waco Midway. We have Cy-Fair taking on Pasadena Dobie. When I look at these two teams on paper, I think Cy-Fair and Pasadena Dobie are traditional powerhouses when it comes to softball. Dobie just beat Clear Springs. And so it's going to be kind of interesting to see how things kind of shake out over there. The winner would get that Bridgeland Midway winner. And also probably my favorite team in the Houston area as far as softball's Pearland. They're going to battle Cypress Ridge, who beat Fulshear 2-1. Pearland, I mean, they got over 30 wins. Of course, Atascocita lost to Pearland. So that was a big matchup in week 1. And Pearland beat them 8-0. And Sugar continues to play great.
Yeah, it was a 3-game series, too. That was a great one.
Yeah, no doubt. And so Pearland's been just kind of quietly taking care of business over in 6A D1. Meanwhile, over in 5A D1, Barbers Hill. I saw them last week. They're in Division 1. They are dominant. They beat College Station. I saw game 2, which was a 7-0 win. The Eagles, are number 1, not only in the state, but they're number 1 in the nation, according to Max Preps. So they're out there doing some great things. They're going to take on Eastview out of Georgetown ISD. But you know what I don't like about this? It's a 1-game playoff later on today. That's kind of scary. But
that tells me Eastview won the coin toss, right?
Yeah.
They know they can't beat them twice. Let me try to get them once.
Yeah, that's how it happens. And over in 5A D2, Lake Creek looks outstanding. They're going to take on Pflugerville Weiss. Lake Creek has just been rolling along, just quietly doing their thing. I think they've won, 3 of the last 4 state championships. They continue to roll and just looking good. And another team that's kind of under the radar in 5A D2 is Kingwood Park. They defeated Friendswood. It's K-Park's second trip to the 3rd round in the past 3 years. They will meet this Georgetown team in the 3rd round in Region 3. It's an interesting matchup, but, Kingwood Park in both baseball and softball has been really solid over the last few years, and just keep an eye out for them as well.
Yeah, one other thing from 6A, Grand Oaks, who's got 34 wins, they're taking on Waxahachie. Interesting thing there is the Indians have a sophomore, Michaela Landers, set a new record in Texas, 106 RBIs, which I find incredible. I think they've only played 40-some games. That means she's getting about 2 or 3 a game, which is ridiculous. So they'll have their work cut out for them there against that one.
Yeah, that's right. Guess what else is coming up?
Track and field. Let's get into that as we go into the lineup.
The Houston area Chevy dealers. Visit your nearest Chevy dealer and test drive our award-winning vehicles. Serving up the best treats and eats in Texas. Stop by DQ and treat yourself before and after the game.
Yeah, we do have track and field coming up next week in Austin. You have a home in Austin, so you'll be right over there taking a look at the fastest of the fast. Tell me what you're thinking about in track and field, and then maybe talk about those Lamar boys.
Yeah, Mike A. Meyer Stadium, that's going to be the site. Remember, Lamar hopes to repeat as state champions. Last year they won as a team, but what their main going to be doing this year is the 4x400. Last year they did win that relay. They're out to try to do it again this year, but they won't be repeating as state champions as a team because, quite frankly, they don't have enough qualifiers overall to do that. But they've got a shot at that 4x400. By the way, I should tell you, Shadow Creek actually beat them in the regional final, and that was the state meet over in Webster, over at Challenger Stadium. So just a lot of speed over there. And I think the top 3 finishes were all like either regional records or perhaps even state records. So they've got some quality runners over at Lamar High School. In fact, let me introduce you to the 4x400 meter relay team over at Lamar High School. Lamar High School is coming off their first state track and field championship since 1956, highlighted by their gold medal in the Class 6A 4x400 meter relay in May of 2025.
Winning state was unreal, and it was an experience like no other. It's kind of something not anyone can just do. It's something that takes a lot of hard work and dedication.
Winning state last year, it was definitely an unreal feeling. We worked hard the entire season. I feel like we went in to state with a mindset of let's go win the whole thing.
Lamar recorded a time of 3:08.51 in the regional meet last year, which was a state record. Lamar finished with 32 points at state overall, which was helped with a bronze finish in the 4x100. The Hunters have become the Hunted.
It would be great to win back-to-back, actually. That's obviously the goal coming into this year, but to actually do it, that'd be amazing.
Honestly, winning first time, I could never forget, but winning for the second time would just be like a memory that unlike any other.
To win state again, it's definitely challenging. We feel like we have to live up to the expectation we set last year. We thrive off a competition like that, so with everybody wanting to come at us with that bullseye on our back, we excel in that area.
Fast forward to this year, and the Lamar Texans have a legitimate shot at defending their boys 4x400 meter relay after racing to a time of 3:09:16 at Webster's Challenger Stadium with a group of guys that competed in multiple events, including seniors Ryan Johnson, Devin Carpenter, Jordan Godfrey, and sophomore Blake Love. Shadow Creek might be their toughest competition, but relays require trust. Knowing the baton is going to be where it needs to be to keep your relay team in perfect synchronization, something Lamar wants to improve on after last year's near baton disaster in the 4x400.
We usually work a couple times a week on handoffs, and as the season goes on, we spend a little bit more time on it. At the beginning of the year, I talked to them about the technical aspects of it. It becomes kind of a part of who we are, so we want to make sure that we're really taking care of the baton.
Practice makes perfect. You have to work at practice to get it down. You don't really have time in the meet to think about, was my hand at the right spot? Did I get out on time? Any of that, it has to just come to you.
We've built a program where we are like a family. So in a relay, you need a lot of trust.
Hot better right there. That was a lot smoother.
The only way your relay works with handoffs and everything else is if you trust each other. Competing is what we thrive off of.
Especially in a relay, you really just can't let your teammates down, so you have to try your hardest.
Boys and girls track and field coach Jarrett Green runs a tight ship. He motivates the athletes daily, starting at practice,
Like, you feeling good today, too?
which leads to perfection.
2022, go 21 with him.
Our coach definitely has a new mindset as well. He's very serious and very intentional about trying to get back to state. His confidence comes through us, and we just produce.
We want to get full extension, make sure that we got everything timed out perfect.
Coach Green gives us like a friendly sense of competition between one another.
Coach Green, he's definitely one of the best coaches I've ever had. He cares about us as an athlete and as people. It makes us want to drive harder and run faster. Man objective is May 16th, which is Austin. Watch out for us this year. We're coming for it.
In Houston with the Lamar Track team, I'm Jeff Power, Inside High School Sports.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm also going to have my eyes on Dylan Mitchell over there at CU King.
Yeah.
See what kind of medals he can come home with. You got anybody you got your eye on there, Jeff?
Well, you mentioned Dylan. He won his event in the regional final. I think overall, you know, we'll see a lot of the same teams. And let's not forget, Fort Bend Marshall's always really good.
The kid from Collins, right?
Yes, Andrew Jones from Collins. Yeah. Yes, the hurdler. He's breaking all kind of national records. We'll get a chance to see him. Probably do a little feature story on him. I understand he's headed to Texas A&M, so that'll be kind of a cool deal. We'll see if he can maybe break his own national record. Well, who knows?
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. You got a chance to talk to a big celebrity over the past couple of days. When he's playing football over at Madison, he wasn't a celebrity yet, but now he certainly is. Talk about that.
You know, I remember when Vince Young and the Madison Marlins beat Westlake over at the Astrodome. So think about that, first of all. The Astrodome, right?
Wow.
And 20 years ago, he was drafted by the Tennessee Titans. That also seems like, no way, that wasn't 20 years ago. But it was. The former Longhorn quarterback did play at Madison, played for Ray Seals. I think Vince Young has just been he pretty much anywhere he goes in both Houston and Austin, he is still a celebrity. I know the NFL thing didn't quite work out for him the way he would have liked. A lot of people in Houston wanted him to be a Houston Texan, of course, back then. I think the Texans went with Mario Williams in that particular draft. But Vince Young, you know, he'll forever be remembered for what he did in both high school and college, for sure. He was at that brother-in-arms celebrity golf tournament over at Carlton Woods in the Woodlands. I got a chance to catch up with him and talk a little high school and college and maybe a little pro football too. That's our Media Day segment.
The Houston area Chevy dealers. Visit your nearest Chevy dealer and test drive our award-winning vehicles. Parker University. Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today.
Vince, let me ask you about Brothers in Arms and kind of how you got started here, and obviously the connection with you and Andre and Warren is a nice little Houston quarterback connection.
You know, got similarities of single parents, and then we all play the same position, and all of us accomplishing some major things from the Heisman and College Hall of Fame and had opportunity to support each other and bring it together to do the same thing for our community, for young ladies and young men. We both got the same passion of making sure our kids in the community reach their opportunities.
What's your thoughts about, do you go back over to Madison High School? Talk about just your days of playing there, Coach Seals, all that.
Yeah, Coach Seals is another father figure for me in life. He was somebody, that wanted to make sure that young men and young women live to their life that they can, is just stay your butt out of trouble and just work hard, and you can do a lot of great things in life. And he was one of the guys that first started that with me, and I'm just want to continue to do what he taught me to the next generation.
For Madison High School, I remember when y'all played, I think it was Westlake over at the Astrodome. You guys were in kind of uncharted territory.
Right.
Talk about just the success that y'all had at Madison and how that, really led to you coming to the University of Texas.
Yeah, there's a lot of history, just actually being a kid that worked at the at the rodeo, selling hot dogs and turkey legs. And then also I have opportunity to play in the stadium, in the Astrodome, and be a part of the Houston history, and then had an opportunity for Coach Brown to come recruit me and bring me to the University of Texas. And my main thing was just graduating.
Yeah.
But it's always good to get a national championship and graduate at the same time, and then be around good teammates, good coaching staff, and then also bringing a national championship to Texas. It was all it's a blessing, but at the same time, I just enjoy doing what I'm doing for the great state of Texas.
Is there a day that goes by that you don't get asked about the perfect season of 2005 and what led to the 2006 Rose Bowl? You being the one that actually said when you beat Michigan that you were going to come back and do it and actually win the national championship, and you were like a prophet.
Yeah. It's just, I hear it every day, which is a blessing. And then I had the opportunity to win a championship and bring it all the way back to Texas, baby, was a blessing. So, that's the message. That's the message right there I've been kind of saying. The football and the things that the hard work really does pays off. But not only this, like Coach Brown said, just don't let this be the only memory in your life. Continue to keep giving back. Keep continuing to be a good husband, dad, all of the above, and that's the whole message. So to have opportunity to be the quarterback of that team and still have a relationship with them to this day is just a blessing. God has blessed me to build this foundation with Miss Patty and Holly and Andre and Warren Moon, and we could continue to give back to the community.
Talk about how maybe Andre Ware and Warren Moon might have been mentors for you.
Yeah, just having an opportunity to meet them when I was younger, just watch them being successful at U of H and for the Houston Oilers, and then have an opportunity to, follow behind their shoes, and then, makes me really happy that I get an opportunity to start a foundation with these guys, and we all similar in a way, and we all got the same passion for our community. So just to have these guys in my life, to talk to them, laugh with them, play golf, just having fun and getting to know each other more and more, and becoming a brotherhood like it is giving back to the community. So that's a great thing to bring everybody together and to start from brotherhood.
Let's talk about the bond, not only that you share with these quarterbacks here, but the growth of this program, the fact that y'all are all kind of sticking together and bringing in some extra star power.
Well, it's not even really about us. If you ask anybody here, from all the legendary Hall of Famers, from basketball, football, baseball, everything, everybody gonna say the same thing. It's all about giving back to our community. So just to see the who's the names, you got Mr. Eric Dickinson right there, you got the who's of the world coming out supporting. That's what it's all about, and they understand that message that we giving back to the community, and it's all about the kids.
Just thinking with Eric walking by, obviously he went to Sealy, and I think Coach Seals was he related to Eric?
Yeah.
Talk about that connection.
It's a huge connection. Coach Seals is, a lot of people know exactly who Coach Seals is. He a legend, and to have guys like Eric here to understand about Sealy, Texas, how it's a whole different world now, but back in the day when he started it, and he is doing what he's supposed to do, to support those kids in that community. So Coach Seals is a legendary coach. Happy birthday, Coach Seals. I love you. And I appreciate, just these guys doing what they're supposed to do. That's why guys like myself, younger generation like me, we have to understand and respect the people that came before us. And they did a lot for us, and we want to continue to keep doing the same thing that they're doing. But legendary athletes in the Hall of Fame and did a lot of things for us next generation. So we just got to continue to keep that trend going. So we want these young men and young ladies to understand. We want them to reach their full potential in life. Whatever you may go through in life, good, bad, anything, just continue to give back. A lot of times, a lot of these young men and young ladies don't get that recognition that we're proud of them. So we are doing that as Brothers in Arms to let them know that we're going to give you a scholarship for one, but also if you don't get a scholarship, we still want you to know that we love you and we're very proud of you.
Yeah, Vince was must-see TV or must-see high school game when he was in Houston, man. He was terrific, wasn't he?
Oh, man. You know what? I just his games alone at the Rose Bowl stood out to me. I was at the game when they beat Michigan. He was the MVP. He said, we'll be back the following year, and they were, and they beat USC. You know, that to me, the Rose Bowl was just – that was the house that Vince Young built. You know what I mean? That's saying something at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, you can always remember that picture of him trying to grab the confetti as it's flying all in his face after winning that national title.
That was a classic.
I tell you what, we got more sports to talk about, especially the TAPS baseball and softball playoffs, and we do that once we get into the agenda brought to you by Allegro.
Chevrolet's Inside High School Sports is brought to you by Allegro Marinade. Whether you're the family chef, a backyard barbecuer, or a jerky-making genius, maximize flavor and tenderness with Allegro Marinades.
Jeff, we got those TAPS playoffs starting next week, and they run throughout the weekend, and some of them finish up on Monday and Tuesday the following week. But you know, the Houston area's got some teams looking for some hardware.
Yeah, Second Baptist is a good-looking team. Division II, you know, they've been good for a long time. In fact, they're taking on Beaumont Kelly in their first-round matchup here. I heard that not only does Second Baptist have 3 Division I type players, but they got some guys going to some legitimate schools here. We're talking Carson Pratt. He's a junior pitcher. It's headed to Rice. We got a third baseman named Ford Allen that's going to USC. He's a junior, so he's committed, not quite signed. Christian McClary, he's going to James Madison. He is a senior, so he's signed up and ready to go. But those guys are great. In fact, I heard that the state champions actually come out of their district, that TAPS 2 District 4 and 5. They've won 13 consecutive state championships. And, you know, Division I is like St. Thomas, St. Pius. Yeah. To give you kind of a little bit of history, there's a neat little Astros connection with a lot of these teams I just mentioned. You know, James Rayner Noble, the Second Baptist baseball coach who took over for another former Astro, Lance Berkman, and Andy Pettit before him over at Second Baptist. Of course, Noble has coached at the University of Houston. He was there for 16 years, winningest coach in the Cougars program. I think he had 551 wins and 420 losses. He also played at U of H, and he played at Springwoods High School. He even had a minor league stint with the Astros. There you go. So interesting how all those guys that, you know, the Astros kind of had those connections. And, of course, Craig Biggio, he had a son that was playing over there at St. Thomas, so he was coaching them at the time. There's even a rumor that Biggio might be getting in the front office with the Astros, so that's kind of cool. And, of course, TAPS, you know, I think when you talk playoff baseball this time of year, another team that comes to mind is Lutheran South Academy, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, especially since they're the defending champions, state champions. Yeah. And, you know, our Jason Bristol got to talk to one of their better players, Jaylen Walker. He's probably one of the better players in the Houston area as well. He sat down with them and got to see what makes him tick because he's got a pretty popular brother that's got a little bobblehead himself. So, Jason, take it away.
At Lutheran South Academy, Jaylen Walker isn't just hitting baseballs, he's launching them. A senior outfielder and one of the most dangerous bats in the state, Walker's power to all fields keeps scouts intrigued.
When Major League Scouts are here, what do you hope they're writing in their report about you?
That I'm just a leader and I just do the little things right and just try to help my team win.
That mindset has helped fuel a big senior season and a team chasing another title.
You know, I think as far as guys that can take over games, he has the ability to do that.
The tools are obvious: power, arm strength, athleticism. But it's the moment that never seems too big.
I think he thrives on that. He thrives in that environment.
And that edge, that confidence, it didn't come out of nowhere. Jaylen's older brother, Ramon, built his reputation on the court at the University of Houston, doing whatever it took to win.
What has your brother's journey taught you about college?
It's just taught me that like be patient and your time will come and just try to outwork everybody.
He hates to lose. I know that by firsthand experience. Like he hates to lose. He hates not being called the best.
Different sport, same mentality. Next stop for Jaylen, Houston, where the Walker name is already known.
Your brother being at Houston, how much of a role did that play in your commitment?
It wasn't really him. It was just more about the relationship with the coaches that I built throughout the years of me being recruited and ending up at Houston.
From the hardwood to the diamond, in the Walker family, you don't learn competitiveness. You live it.
Where is Jaylen 5, 6, 7 years from now? You don't have to answer. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, I hope to be playing in the major league, so hopefully.
Good stuff. You know, their final will be Tuesday. If they make it to the final, it will be Tuesday at 1:30 at UTA up in Dallas area. So that'll be interesting. If you guys have a day to skip out on work, travel up to Dallas, Texas, and take a look at the finals there.
Yeah, UT Arlington, they got a nice baseball facility. I know Neil Beasley spent some time over there. He worked in their athletics department.
Got a great park.
They do. They really do.
Yeah, absolutely. They have a great park. Dallas Baptist got a great park too. All of it's great. So,
a lot of good baseball in Texas.
We will finish this deal off with our rankings, and we're going to go with the top 5 quarterbacks that we have coming for class of 2027 in the Houston area. Thank you for joining us. Take a look at these rankings.
We'll be right back.